Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to Real Women Love Sports. This is Tiffany,
Hey, it's Matt.
and we are back. We are definitely talking about a lot of crazy stuff that's happened uh, since the last time we connected. We got some major trades in the NBA. If anyone's been following us on YouTube, you saw I had a lot to say about some trades. There's still been some trades going on in the NFL. It's preseason. And last year, we talked a lot about these players getting in trouble during preseason, and we kind of chalked it up as they were going through a lockout process. They had nothing to do. They had too much idle time on their hands. They were worried about not getting paid. But this year, it seems to kind of be repeat action. There's no lockout. There's no kind of drama with the season, but these NFL players are having a hard time staying out of trouble. What is going on?
I don't know, what it is. Maybe it's the weather, or maybe it's changes going on with these organizations. But I mean, it just for whatever reason they can't stay out of trouble. I mean, whether it's with the law, or even if it's dealing with injuries, something is going on, and it happens every year.
Well, we had the whole incident with Dez Bryant in the Cowboys last year. Around this exact same time, we had the incident with Dez Bryant at North Park Mall, and the pants sagging and whatever, talking with security thing. Um, and we kind of chalked it up like, okay, Dez getting into a little bit of trouble. Shortly after that, he had some problems with not making appearances that he was scheduled to be at. He had some people suing him over jewelry that he didn't pay for. So Dez was in a lot of drama last year that really circumvented around him. But this season, we're seeing that Dez is getting into a lot of trouble that doesn't particularly even have to deal with himself. He is getting into some drama dealing with his mother. Now, for those of you who have not been following what's going on, Dez and his mother had what is being alleged as some domestic violence activity, and a lot of people are kind of saying this one isn't Dez's fault. We need to sit back and really try and figure out what is going on with Dez Bryant, what is going on with his family situation, because like we said, as last year, we kind of chalked it up as to his age and his inexperience in the league. This year, we're seeing that maybe it's not his fault. Maybe it's a family issue. His mother is said to be, I'm not sure if it's an ex, drug addict, or maybe she's still clearly on drugs. Things like this is going on, and maybe just needs some help trying to figure out how to handle his family. So I know last year we kind of said Dez needed some kind of mentor, some kind of guidance, and he had that in Deion Sanders, and then Deion Sanders kind of wrote him off and said he didn't want anything to do with him. And maybe we need to see clearly all these problems may have just stemmed from Dez having a bad family life, and he needs some help. He needs some
Well,
guidance.
I mean, one thing's for sure, he does have a temper, and even if it's a bad family life, how long are you going to let him use that excuse? How long are you going to let him use that crutch? I mean, only good things so far that, I mean, if you consider it a good thing, depending on what side of the story you're looking at, is that he fired his agent.
He did fire Drew, and in my opinion, a lot of people like Drew as an agent. I've always seen some red flags with Drew. For those of you who don't know, he's also T.O.'s agent. I think he may still be T.O.'s agent, but he guided T.O. in making some very, what I think are not, yes, very questionable, not smart movements that led to him doing that weird thing with the Eagles when he was there and not going to training camp, and saying he demanded more money after only being there for a year. Some very questionable actions he had here in Dallas, some even more questionable actions that he's made financially. just passing his money over and saying, you guys take care of that with certain people in his life. His agent should have been the one there to kind of shield him and help him in those decisions, and Drew was not. So I think Dez firing Drew is an absolutely brilliant move.
Yeah, and and only time will tell is whether or not how Dez is going to act. I mean, Dez is he has a temper, so he's going to get in trouble. So the issue is whether or not that's going to be a distraction to not necessarily not only his game, but to the Cowboys as a whole. And with that issue going on, and the Cowboys looking for that third receiver, you know, is all the stuff that's going on in Dez's personal life that it's stemming to on the field. So how does that affect the rest of the guys? How's it going to affect the rest of the wide receiver? How's it going to affect the O-line? How's that going to affect Romo? If they don't have that guy to look at, because they already have a hamstring, with Miles Austin, who's going to miss, the remainder of the preseason again. I
Right.
mean, you got all that to consider.
And Miles Austin, if anybody does, Miles Austin has a history of getting injured every preseason. This is kind of like our buffer for Miles Austin, because we didn't have the preseason games last year. He kind of got hurt, and it went into some actual games where we needed him. Hopefully this is just preseason. But I mean, right now Dez is not speaking with anyone. He's not talking to any press. He's still going through a lot of legal issues. It is said that the Cowboys are the ones telling him, do not talk to anyone. If you've heard any kind of interviews and things like that at a training camp, you could actually hear in the background security. If Dez stopped to go and say anything to the press, they were kind of, wait, what are they talking about? Dez, don't say anything. So it was definitely Dez being silenced by the organization and saying, do not speak on this issue, along with his lawyer. Basically, it has not come full term yet, so they don't know what's going to happen, and they don't want to take any unnecessary chances. And we don't want to take any unnecessary chances with Dez. So definitely he is one that we're going to be looking at to pull out a lot this season. So good luck, Dez. But while we're on Cowboys, we mentioned Miles Austin. Well, Jason Witten is also hurt. So that is a big blow. Right now he's set to miss all of the preseason games. We're not sure if it's going to go into regular season, but he has a spinal injury.
Spleen, I think it's
spleen.
Not a ruptured spleen, but I think it's like a bruised spleen, something like that. But I mean, if you know the Cowboys are really big on their wide receivers. They're really big on the pass. So you have your tight end, Witten, who's out. You have Dez, who we don't know what's necessarily going on with him. You have Austin, who has the hamstring. Now they're looking at Cole Beasley, which Cole Beasley, with the game yesterday, pretty good guy. His only downfall,
he's so short.
He's 5'8". He's the same size as
Cole
I am.
Beasley is a tiny man.
Most wide receivers are about at least 6'1", and that's on the small end. That's on the lower end. So I mean, but he had a couple of good plays, a couple of good catches. So that's something. But then you had the issue with Cole Beasley earlier, who quit.
Beasley needs to learn to get open. That's what he's gonna have a hard time with this season. Like we said, he's so short. He's quick, and that may be his saving grace. Is he's quick and he's fast on his feet. But if he can't manage to get open, it just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good he thinks or says he is. If he cannot get open, his size is going to hurt him, and he can't get open simply because he has people out there kind of towering over him. So,
but you know what? I don't think that's an issue for him or even the Cowboys. Not completely. I think the other problem is his emotions. He quit earlier. He quit, said, I don't think I can do this. It's not what I want to do. And a couple of days later, he said, I want to come back. So, I mean, that's still going to be hung over his head. So,
but
is he emotional, unstable?
Him quitting had a lot to do with the fact that if you watched the first preseason game, if you watched it in practice, it was phenomenal. Everyone was shock and awe. Then preseason started, and it was like What's going on with Cole Beasley? He can't get open. He's not playing. He's not up to the level we thought he was. And it's because he can't get open. So then he quit because he's just deflated. And he needs to get some kind of mentality. This is professional. You can't let your ego be hurt. And his feelings are hurt because he was all on Twitter and everywhere else talking about how fabulous he was and how great he was. And then you turn around and you can't get open during the game and you're not performing how you think you should be and how the world is expecting you to, given the fact that you run your mouth so much. And his ego and his pride was hurt.
But I think the end of the game yesterday when they interviewed him, he was asking about his fan base, and he seemed a little bit more humble. So I don't know if somebody talked to him. I don't know if it was the Cowboys. I don't know if it was Jason. But somebody
talked to him. That game humbled him. I don't think anybody talked to him. That game humbled him. He realized you in with the big league, and everybody told him that. This is the big leagues. You're going to sit and compare yourself to other players who've been in this game for years and well-seasoned vets, and you think that you have something on them. So his game humbled him. Anybody want to sit around and talk Cowboys with us, go ahead, give us a call, 805-727-7099. Or if you have any other comments, questions, concerns, let us hear from you.
I want to talk about the Lakers.
We going to just jump right into basketball. I guess we're going to skip some stuff in football.
I mean, we can talk about the Lakers.
We will talk about the Lakers, but first I need to finish my football rap. We went over to Cowboys. Well, T.O. is back. Woo! I was hoping he was going to return in a Cowboys jersey, but he won't. He'll be in a Seahawks jersey. So, very excited to see what he's going to do this year because he went into the minor leagues, and I am still very confused by this. He went in, he signed with the team here in Allen, and he played. He had some kind of ownership in the team when he signed the contract, and then halfway through, it's like they dropped him, they released him, they took back their ownership. How does that happen?
I think what happened was he didn't show up for games, he didn't show up for an appearance, and that's part of his contract. He was supposed to be there. He didn't let anybody know he was not there. So the coach said, I'm done. This is not what we had talked about. This is not so.
Right. How do you let that happen? How are you there to prove yourself and to prove to the scouts that are there and to the NFL that you're ready to come back in the game, not only physically but mentally? Because let's remember, even prior to him getting hurt, it was really hard for him to get picked up on the team because of his mental stability. I mean, we had 2 years back-to-back that apparently he tried to commit suicide. You have the obvious T.O. mouth that's constantly running. He is not a fan with the media. T.O. is like Dallas. He's one of those love him or hate him. You either love T.O. or you hate him, and it's all for the same reasons. So it is killer to me that he even allowed that to happen. But it's neither here nor there. He is back in the NFL, and I am very excited to see what he is going to do this season. Now, on kind of that same note, last year we saw Ocho Cinco get picked up by the Patriots, and T.O. didn't get picked up at all. And now we see T.O. get picked up and Ocho Cinco get released. So I can't even go into describing this. You get married, your relationship is documented on reality TV, you're married for a little over 30 days, and you headbutt your wife, you go to jail
That's not what happened. Her face ran into his head. That's what happened.
You headbutt your wife, you go to jail. The day you're released, you go into the office. Now, people, if you have not seen this, go on HBO Demand. The Dolphins actually had their own reality show called Hard Knocks or something like that, and just documenting their preseason. And you actually see Ocho Cinco come in and sit down with the coach and get released. He's like on top of it. First of all, we all seen the press conference where he was swearing and going off at the mouth. And the coach had to pull him aside then and say, that's not what this team represents. That's not who we are. Get it together. You need to be better in the media. Him and T.O. have the same problems. So then once he kind of corrected that a little bit, it's very hilarious because in this same episode, you see him talking about, oh, I'm real, and when stuff happen with me, you just kind of know it, you expect it. That's what's wrong with all these players. They have this image, and you don't know who they are, and then they wind up in jail, and you like, oh, we didn't expect them from him. And he's like, I'm just real. What you see is what you get. I've never been to jail. But he's just going all on this, and then about 15 later into that segment, you hear that he headbutts his wife, and he's in jail. So he comes in and has a talk with the coach, who basically is like, on top of this incident, you're not really performing how we wanted or thought. So we're going to part ways. Then the next day, his show, Ocho and Ev, or Ev and Ocho, whatever, gets released from VH1. They let that go. And then it's like, okay, Ocho, what you going to do now? So Ocho Cinco has been released. He right now has no job. He is unemployed. And he has no reality show. There's no income. Don't know what's going on with your boy.
I don't know. I think with him, it's birds of a feather. Because, you got him and T.O. There's always trouble. There's always there. I promise you, they're two people. They're two peas in a pod. You can't really tell.
Well, you know what? They both have fallen. So before they said that Ocho is the one that got T.O. that position before on Cincinnati, but now they've fallen, and T.O. got to prove himself, so he can't get Ocho a job. So I don't know. Oops.
Give us a call. Let us know what you think. 805-727-7099.
Along with released players, I have to say really quick, I forgot, injured player Bill Nagy from last season played with the Cowboys. He started 4 games. He got injured and was put on injury reserve. He was expected to come back and play again this year. He got hurt in training camp, same injury. And now he's being put back on injury reserve, and they decided to waive him. So he has been waived, and then he was picked up by Detroit. So he is now a Lion. So here in Cowboys Nation, we bid a farewell to Bill Nagy. Hope him the best in his endeavors. He was a Wisconsin Badger, so, kind of followed him. He was pretty good, and we're just going to wish him all the luck. Definitely never wish injury or pain and hurt on anyone, so we're hoping that Bill gets better, and he actually plays a complete season. And, I spoke with my sports guru, Mary McKay, and she said that she believes that this is going to be a great opportunity for Bill in Detroit when he gets better after his surgery. So, here's to hoping he has a great career, and I hope to see good things from Bill Nagy. So, we are going to now transition into basketball. So, I guess we can go ahead and go right into the big thing that happened in the NBA. Let's talk about Dwight Howard and the Lakers. So,
that trade to me didn't make any sense. Like,
what?
I don't.
How did it not make sense?
Well, I mean, you have a whole bunch of big guys.
Okay.
And then you got Dwight, and I don't know if it's because the whole issue was going on with Orlando, but it wasn't an impressive. To me, it wasn't a normal Dwight Howard season.
Dwight didn't have a normal season. No, he didn't. But we all know why Dwight didn't have a normal season. Dwight was very unhappy in Orlando, and he was not playing like he should. One thing players need to all realize, from Dwight Howard to Lamar Odom, this is a game and it is a business. I understand you enjoy playing. Everybody wants a ring. We get it. You love where you live. Understood. This is a business. And even when you do not like where you are, if you want to be considered still top at your game, the best professional thing you can do is continue to play like nothing's happened. And Dwight did not do that. I think for him, it was kind of brushed aside a little bit that this season everybody was just like, well, he doesn't want to be there. He's working on a trade. He really did not even expect to be with Orlando through July. Everyone really assumed that they would get rid of Dwight before July, and they didn't. And so he played out a full season there, very unexpected. And you know, it was a lot of rumors of him and going over there with Darren Williams, and that didn't happen. Then all the people here in Dallas, the fans, were very much the beginning of the season going, Darren Williams is coming home. He's going to be in Dallas. He's coming back. He's coming back. And I, for one, I want each and every one of those people that I handed my business card to. I haven't gotten a call from you yet. Where's my call? Y'all said y'all was all going to call me. Yeah, because he's not there. And I predicted this step by step. I actually said Dwight would even be in L.A. If y'all don't remember, go watch the archive. I said it, and that is where he is. What I didn't see coming was the Steve Nash to L.A., and I didn't see the Ray Allen to Miami, and I really didn't see all the weird stuff with Dallas. They did. I knew they had some issues, but
it's weird for a championship team
to dismantle.
It doesn't. Chicago's never done it. L.A. they've done it, but it wasn't. The people they let go, it didn't make a big impact. They didn't separate the whole team. It was a player here, a player there, but they gained somebody who stepped up and filled that void. Dallas, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what strategy that Mark Cuban has, but I've never heard of a championship team to go ahead and dismantle the team and try to rebuild again. Like, you've already started building, you got to that point, and then you just wiped everything clean and start all over again.
Right now, Dallas, they've made enough moves to where they'll be probably as much of a contender as they were this past season, in my eyes. But they have set it up to where in the next maybe year or two, they'll have enough salary cap to build. And that's what they're planning to do. They have not looked at the here and now as much as I think they're planning for the future. And one person that decided they would not be a part of that was Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd had really, I mean, let's face it. We know Jason Kidd is old, and for the first time in life, there's an NBA player who knows he's old, and that's Jason Kidd. And he is tired of playing full games. And he kind of sat back with every intention of Darren Williams coming here and being the forefront, and him just being kind of second string. And he was gonna sit there for maybe a year or two, and then he planned on going into the front office. That's what he wanted to do. When that didn't happen, he saw the fact that he would have to be a forerunner again this year, and he knows his body cannot take that, so he left. He left and then later on got picked up for a DUI, but that's neither here nor there. He is no longer here. Now, one thing that's really weird about Dallas and about what's going on with their team is owner Mark Cuban. It is a very high rumor that the reason that Darren Williams did not come here is because when everyone was in the talks going back and forth, Mark Cuban didn't show up. He was supposed to go and meet with Darren, and, you know, that's what owners do, and the GM, they go and they meet and they talk and, you know, try and get people over. Mark Cuban did a bunch of text messages. I think he wanted to do a Skype meeting or something like that. It just really was not personable, because he was filming Shark Tank. We all know Mark Cuban is a big businessman, and one of his latest business ventures is his show Shark Tank. And if you talk to Mark Cuban, when the media talks to Mark Cuban, there's no way you're going to get through an interview with Mark Cuban without him bringing up Shark Tank. And he was in LA filming Shark Tank, and because of that, he didn't meet with Darren Williams, and I don't think he gave him that personable feeling that he needed in order to kind of sway him over here. So, I know he's trying to have other venues besides basketball, but I think he's kind of lackadaisical this year with what he's doing.
I mean, while we're on the topic of Mark Cuban, you know, Mark Cuban's kind of behind the whole let's have ads on the jerseys.
Yes.
And I've heard this conversation from several different people, and I've heard mixed reviews. I mean, it works for the WNBA. It works for NASCAR. I mean, it works for golf, pro golf. Why can it not work for the NBA? And the jerseys may look a little weird. I mean, granted, I mean they always change the jerseys all the time. I don't. It kind of takes some of the pressure off, the financial pressure off of some of the owners. You know, and hopefully, I mean, if they were to do that, then hopefully it at least lower the prices of the tickets and the food. Because I mean, you go to a game and you're already paying an arm for seats that's all the way in nosebleed section, but then you got to pay a leg and a toe for
parking,
and then you got to pay an eye and the ear just to eat. So I mean, it's just like it's ridiculous. Like you have to take out a loan to go to a game.
Let's be serious, people. From a fan standpoint, if there's logos on the jersey, that is not going to change your ticket price. It's not going to change your jersey price. It might increase your jersey price. It's not going to, for the fan betterment, change any price. All it's going to do is give the owners more money. That is Mark Cuban's way of counterproducing what happened with the lockout. Let's face it, the owners did not get the money that they wanted from the lockout. They are not making what they planned on making from the NBA lockout. Things just didn't go 100% their way, and this is one of those revenue makeups. It's like you got plan A, B, and C, and since plan A didn't fully plan out, here we go, let's pull some money this way, let's pull some money that way, let's get, you know, our payers play for playing in the Olympics, and hey, they got to cut us some money too, because that was another one that he said, the payers aren't getting paid, and he said, as an owner, you taking my players, and they're playing in the Olympics, and they can get hurt, and that's my, in a sense, I guess, possession, or that's his player, and I'm not getting anything. Now, if you offer to pay Mark Cuban for his players being in the Olympics, he would gladly let them and probably not really care.
I mean, of course,
get
especially when you have a lockout,
season.
it's always about money. It always boils down to money. It's never about, oh, well, we want more of this, we want. It's always money, you know, and that's the thing now. And the owners can get shicey at times. I mean, they can get to be real grimy, and I can understand why the players do it, but I mean, maybe let's do a trial run for the ads in the jersey.
Well, I don't like the ad thing. You know who is getting his money? Dwayne. Dwayne always gets his money. He's a good hustler. We talked last year about his fantasy camp that he had. Well, he ran his fantasy camp again this year. It was a ridiculous amount of money for grown-ups that had NBA dreams to come and play. So that's what they did, and he's making his money. Shouts out to Dwayne. We love you here at Real Women Love Sports. We have about a minute left. I do want to kind of talk some house things. We are looking at expanding Real Women Love Sports to another network also. So you'll still be able to catch us here every Sunday at 5:30, and you will also be able to catch me on my YouTube site. You guys know when thoughts pop in my head, I just kind of download sometimes, and I post just to let you know what I'm thinking. But we'll also be on another network. Once I get the final details worked out with that, I will let you know, and I will probably post a YouTube video, just kind of semi-commercial, letting you know what's going on. But we appreciate our fan base. We love that we are gaining more fans, and if you have any questions, you want to talk sports with me, you want me to answer anything, go ahead, hit me up on Facebook, on Twitter at Real Women Love Sports, or hey, if you got my number, send me a text. This is Tiffany.
Hey, it's Matt.
And we are out.